think this will go down as one of the craziest days in crypto, perhaps even ever. I mean, going from 50-something thousand to 64,000 in a day, and Ethereum also going for a massive pump, for all the exchanges to go down to then lead into a massive dump. It's kind of textbook of bull run territory. I mean, I very vividly remember in the previous bull run that I used to live stream as well, and that we had similar type of practices with Coinbase going down unexplainably. However, if you're wondering, by the way, why is something as big as Coinbase going down, the way I've had it explained to me, and I can't confirm 100% if this is right, but it did make sense, is that let's say, for example, Coinbase on an average day has 10 million people. It's way lower, but you understand the idea. 10 million people. They might be prepared for an influx of plus 30%, perhaps, hey, let's go crazy, plus 100%. What if, however, instead of the normal 10 million people, 120 million people will show up? Well, it'd be a lot cheaper for them to kind of go crazy the moment that an outlier like this happens, then always be prepared for such a mass event, because the probability of the Bitcoin price going so close to an all-time high in the span of a few hours is so low that otherwise they'd be throwing millions in the garbage bin just to handle the traffic that would almost never show up. And again, we also don't know how heavily they were attacked. We don't know what percentage of the people this interrupted their trading from. Point being though, I think Coinbase made a calculated decision. I think a company as large as they are would be able to handle it if they were prepared, but they weren't. And I mean, companies as big as 𝗕𝗂𝗪𝗏 as well, all those large ones, they go down every once in a while if they were not prepared for something. It ain't, in my opinion, that big a deal. I mean, if you had money that you wanted to sell at the top, it's a big deal. And that's kind of how it happens often, that all these platforms go down when things go exponential. But hey, if you ask me, even though we are going quite exponential, we are, in my opinion, not really even close to any of the high points just quite yet. Yes, perhaps the high points of this specific cycle. Well, I'd say pre-halving, right? As you can see, the price really got close to the previous all-time high, but not of the entirety of the cycle, because from that perspective, if you look at these previous runs, just before the halving is when you see another massive pump, basically going into the halving. But afterwards is when the real gains basically start to happen. And right now, the way I see it as well, the real gains will only start happening once we kind of hit the May area. However, one thing that's really important to note down is just how different this crypto run might be, based on the idea that right now, a lot of influx is going into Bitcoin via the ETFs, whereas in previous runs, we saw a lot of interest into Bitcoin via exchanges, which were easier to transfer over into altcoins. So right now, a lot of money going to Bitcoin. By the way, I have a little Bitcoin shirt, funny enough. Might not go to altcoins, and so Bitcoin's dominance might stay higher this time. Then again, the moment that Ethereum ETFs arrive, which could also happen in the span of a few months, there's a very high probability that things will go pretty exponential then for Ethereum and for various different altcoins, as the probability of different altcoin ETFs will also increase significantly the moment that is introduced. And we expect a similar Ethereum scenario in terms of the run-up, the come down after the ETF, and the massive pump afterwards, depending of course on which area of the market we're in, where the dump might partially be skipped. I don't think so, but might. Then again, right now, this massive pump for Bitcoin, in my opinion, is a massive signal where everybody should be ringing that bell that the market is just on explosion territory. And nothing, in my humble opinion, can stray me away from these territories again, or from these theories again, that after the S&P makes an all-time high, Bitcoin makes an all-time high pretty quickly afterwards. We talked about it before, and as it stands right now, this was before the S&P made an all-time high. This was before Bitcoin went for a massive pump. This play made sense back then, and it makes way more sense even right now. And again, all these theories we've shared a long time ago. This one we shared last month, for example, the different phases that Bitcoin goes into. Before it was accumulation. Right now we're getting more and more into bull, but honestly, we're not fully there just quite yet. Which is why I've been warning people, there could be a slight correction of sorts not too long from now. I mean, in previous bull runs, the Bitcoin price is actually going for another massive amount of relief here. In the stream just now, I said, I don't think Bitcoin is actually going to come down much lower. It doesn't make sense. Otherwise, it would have probably happened quite quickly. And we can see right now that on the 30-minute chart, we're actually back to previous heights in terms of candles closed, a lot of volatility, a lot of price action right now as we speak. With Solana, by the way, up 7.5% and actually being higher than previously. And I guess, looking at a lot of altcoins like BONK, this might actually be where Bitcoin does not take the lead anymore, but actually the altcoins pop off. The only altcoin that's an anomaly, an outlier, is Ethereum. And of course, our best friend XRP, who always is kind of late to the party. Sorry if you could not see it. Here you go. And whereas previously it made a tiny little gap here between times, right now the gap has actually been pretty severe. But what a turnaround for Bitcoin this was again, huh? I guess the bulls have woken up. Perhaps Coinbase is now back in play. The people have woken up. Perhaps Asia is now woken up and things are going to continue from here. I mean, if you do not remember the kimchi premium, what happened basically is that since Korea is kind of its own little bubble because they can't trade outside and you can't trade inside, but we do take a lot of that price data into consideration because it's such a massive market. Anyway, why I'm bringing this up is because very often the moment that South Korea wakes up, you see another massive influx into the markets because they go hard on crypto. When I say South Korea goes hard on crypto, if you don't even know what I'm talking about, you better do some due diligence because those guys, they might rule the crypto space even more than the West does. But no, it seems like we're back on the up and up with Dogecoin actually up 16.1589%. Toncoin up 16%. Let's quickly check this out here. AR up 42%. Jasmy, a lot of you guys love that coin, up 40%. Fetch, one of my favorite coins, up 24%. Aptos 23%. Damn, just gains across the board, huh? But still, interestingly enough, Bitcoin has one of the highest gains in the whole rankings, which still means the full-fledged altcoin season is not here just quite yet. Or, like I've said before, what also could be partially playing a role in all this is that the ETFs are here and that now Bitcoin will basically be more of a leader than previously because obviously all these ETF providers, they're going mostly for Bitcoin. Whereas previously, if that factor was taken out of the equation, then people would right now take all their Bitcoin profits, because nearly everybody's in profit right now, and move over into altcoins. And this, right now as it stands, might be less the case. And so Bitcoin goes up while other altcoins and stuff like that go up as well, but generally not as much as in previous runs could be. At the same time though, while this is all happening, I've really started to notice Ethereum is quite garbage. I mean, I love Ethereum. I think the biggest holding in my entire portfolio is Ethereum. That's mostly just based on the Ethereum ETF, by the way, and because of airdrop farming opportunities. But let's be real here. If it costs $150-something just to do a simple transfer of sorts, you know that your system is broken. Okay, another half hour has passed because I'm keeping up to date with so many different things right now. I mean, the crypto space is moving so hard that there's honestly no more time to sleep. I mean, you keep thinking about which coin should I buy right now? Which coin should I sell to buy a different altcoin? Is right now the best time to go long on this or that altcoin? And so my strategy with every single part of it is just understand that the market over the next few months is going to go absolutely crazy. Focus on whatever I've said here on the channel over the last couple of months. Focus on a couple of areas of crypto. Try to farm as many airdrops as possible because many of them are free. Try to get whitelists for free NFT drops, etc. Don't stick to some old altcoins and never want to switch it up. Don't underestimate staking. A Celestia, for example, if you stake those, an Injective, for example, if you stake that, you might actually get yourself different airdrops, which could be worth more than whatever amount you staked. A Celestia, for example, I'm not sure the exact amount, but let's say it did a 10x after people got their airdrop. If it was $1,000 at the start, a month later, it could have been $10,000. And that $10,000 can be used to stake again. Kind of sounds like Ponzi-nomics, but you can use that $10,000 to stake again to then hopefully get yourself another. And that kind of lasts as the bull market is around. So it's something you should not be sleeping on is all I'm trying to say. And I mean, whatever happened right now with the crypto prices, all it does is prove to me that cryptos are only going to go crazier from here. Fun fact, if I told you Bitcoin is going to go to 60,000, I think your eyes would be like this. And now that Bitcoin is like, went to 64 and came back to 60, people are like, what's going on right here? All that fear. And that's what's funny about crypto bull markets. People are so excited when things come up, but they're so fearful when things come down that they fear so much and sell everything, which is when the real crazy crash happens because people are too fearful at some point, which comes after, by the way, the euphoria phase where things just keep going up and up and up because people expect it to never come down, which I wouldn't say we're in euphoria. It feels euphoric, but we're in the hopeful stage where people are really hopeful that this is going to be it, but it's not euphoric yet where people are just seeing absolutely no breaks. I mean, there was a big break just now. We all saw it in the price. Anyway, This is just the start of crazy stuff happening. Hopefully you guys are ready for how crazy times are going to get. And that was about it for this crypto video. Hopefully see you guys later, because we got a couple of altcoin videos coming up, some cool juicy top coins, juicy XRP video. Let me know what you guys would like to see down below.